steer, and what words would you use?
The easiest way to describe our services is we make winners out of people who think they're losers, and we're very successful at that. Very successful at that. And it's like Bill alluded to. Our employment record is one of the highest in town. But we're not in the business of just finding jobs. And we're not an employment agency. We're not in direct competition with the state employment office or with any of the private employment agencies. We are looking more at saying, we want you job ready. And right now you came in this door because you're not job ready. You've got a problem. And what we want to do is for you to identify the problem with us. We're going to identify it together, and we're going to work through it together. And we're going to make you a winner out of what you think is a loser.
For those people who might be in your service area and they might wish to become a part of what you're doing, what could you say to them in terms of change in their attitude toward the government? Or is
the best thing for them to do is to come down and see us at base camp and let's sit down and talk about their problems. We talk to, I don't know how many people over the telephone. And the telephone, it's nice, but it's not like that old eyeball-to-eyeball contact where we can sit down and find out exactly what is problem, what is bugging the person. And they can see where we're coming from, we can see where they're coming from, and we come together that way.
Now, it has been said that the dedication of the monument in Washington, D.C. and the parade that followed sort of drew the curtain on the
well, it did and
war.
it didn't. There are several, what we call closures. For several vets, I'm sure that was a closure. There's still several more out there that was an event. For veterans coming to the ceremonies here in Nashville on May the 26th, there will be a sense of closure for some of them. For some of them, it'll be another event. There is no one thing, there's no panacea out there, no magic formula for curing PTS in massive dosages or to cure a massive amount of veterans. Each veteran has to be treated as an individual.
What do you think the government's attitude should be toward trying to deal with this problem? That is, to make a very serious attempt.
Well, the government is doing, I think, all the government can do. And one of the things that Bill was talking about was the VA. One of the biggest problems that veterans don't understand about the VA is how to play the game. And that's what it is, basically. It's a game. It's a big game. It's a massive game. They have lots of players over there in lots of different ways. But basically, they have rules, and the veterans don't understand the rules. And so they present a problem, or they present a disability case or something that doesn't meet the criteria of the VA, and the VA says, we can't do that. And the veteran gets mad and goes away. But basically, if the veteran knew what the rules of the game were, he better know how to play the game, and then would be able to get help for his or her situation, his or her problem over there. The VA is a wonderful thing if you know how to use it, but first of all, you got to know how to use it.
Finally, as we try to bring closure to another issue, I think you mentioned earlier that the Agent Orange issue was no longer a real problem in the.
Well, it's still
let's bring closure to that now.
It's still a problem. It's a doggone big problem. Those who are suffering from Agent Orange, as the way I see it, the case, the class action suit.
Could you perhaps tell us what Agent Orange is?
Agent Orange was a defoliant used in Vietnam for several years to defoliate the jungles. The enemy was hiding in the jungle. Jungle canopies and so forth and so on. So they sprayed these toxins on the leaves and the vegetation in the jungles to kill them off and to expose the enemy. Subsequent to that, several humans on both sides of the fighting fence came up with some real serious problems, whether they be internal problems or whether it be skin rashes or skin problems, skin diseases, and so forth. The Vietnamese claimed a record number of deformities in births. There have been deformities in births with veterans, Vietnam veterans, who were in areas exposed to Agent Orange. The Disease Control Center in Atlanta says that there's no linkage to that. We still think there is. several veterans have experienced liver problems and other cancerous type things that people in other groups did not experience. So there was a class action suit. The thing was settled. I think it was 6 or 7 chemical companies involved. The thing was settled, an amount was settled, and a disbursement is being sent out to all the veterans who participated in the class action suit. Now, I've got to tell you, it's a very minute sum of money we're talking about here. This problem was not really recognized by the VA as a medical disability. So a veteran who had a severe case of chloracne or a severe case of internal problems and so forth and so on, oftentimes had to spend thousands of dollars going to see private physicians for various treatments of this thing. And that money is not ever going to be recovered on behalf of the individual.
Well, thank you, Mr. Darren, and on behalf of Channel 17, Black Pulse staff, and everybody concerned, we would simply like to thank the two of you for being our guests this evening, and to wish you all of the success in the world in terms of bringing more and more members into your organization, because it is an organization that is very much needed. It seems to be a very, very important organization, and we're simply delighted to have had an opportunity to be with you this evening. Thank you very much. Good night.